Hello guys, welcome to the 11th annual Twilight Ryder Cup preview. Crazy we've been doing it this long. There's Team Billy D from last year. After back-to-back years of being a captain, he got the job done. I think it was versus me last year. It was versus Hand 2 years ago. So here's our history. So we're back at Hidden Valley after 3 years in a row at Pine Meadows. And obviously that main reason is just because Andy's at Schuylkill now. And, he did such a good job organizing it with a shotgun. And, I had it booked for Pine Meadows. And then he just, he said, I'm just unsure. He goes, you can keep it here, but I'm just unsure if you're going to get, the organization. I'm like, that's fine. We'll go to Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley makes it way more convenient for Red Lion anyway. Hidden Valley's been in great shape all year. So this will be our fourth Ryder Cup at Hidden Valley. First one being played 2014. Ian, and we're on a run here of some close ones. Last year was even, 6 is a closer Ryder Cup, 22.5, 19.5, 6, 7, the tie between Pez and I. So after 3 years in a row here of blowouts. The first ever one was a hilarious blowout. Then the close one between Steve and I, 3 blowouts, and then they've been pretty good. We've been doing a good job of keeping, I should say the captains have done a good job with picking fair teams, fair matchups. So hopefully we have that again on Saturday. There are the records from our captains. So this will be JD. Not only this is JD's first Ryder Cup, period. He's a captain, so that's really never been done before. I'm in my 4th one, and obviously it helps. We know with the Ryder Cup standings, I was talking about this at the draft on Saturday, where we're counting 40% of your rounds. So the past few years we've been playing 20, so which means 8 of your best 8 rounds count. It obviously helps to play more, but what helps even more is you have to be on the winning team. Even if you play a lot, having a losing record, it's going to be hard to, come into top 2 from that. So being on winning teams, and if you could win a major, that's massive points too. So for anybody who wants to be a captain in the future, you probably have to play at least half of the rounds, maybe 12 out of 20. Have a winning record and maybe win a major, and you can come in the top 2. All right, so like I said, it's been a while since we've been at Hidden Valley, so brought back out those records. We play Scramble over the first 6. So that is a 3-way tie between Laud and Doug, Decker and myself, and KD and Ursulak back in 2019. So 5 under on the first 6 holes. Then we play Shamble. Would be 7-12, Decker and Murph, and that 3 under in 2020. And then the last 6, that would be 13-16. Cuck and Sophie, and then Laud and I shot 4 under. And then there's your front 9. Decker and I shot 5, and then Laud and I shot 6 in the back and 9 total. So 9 under, 63 is the overall record at Hidden Valley. It's been a few years since we've been there. Okay, here's how the draft shook out. I mean, this was on the email as well, so I don't need to stay on this slide for too long. But I decided to go with the next 2. Since I was first in the standings, I had the choice. So I decided to go with the next 2. JD then had first pick, last pick. I thought it went pretty well, though. Yeah, no real complete shocks or anything. JD, I respected he was very well prepared. Came with a notepad, his own power rankings. I love when people take it serious, because when people don't take it serious, that's when we have blowouts. So I appreciated the amount of effort he put into it. There's how the teams look when they're stacked side by side with each other. I'll leave it there for a second for you guys while I let the dog in. Hang on. And then when we make the pairings, it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement that you can't go more than 5 spots away. So for example, you can't pair Steve with Steele. You have to keep it within a 5 range. And the reason we do that is to make the pairings as fair as possible, where everybody feels like they're helping, they're being included. It's not like Steve is just playing his own ball the entire day, you know, playing with somebody towards the bottom. So that's just the way we do it. And then, you know, obviously JD would match with whatever his are. We had no issues with that at all. A little bit of info. So you're going to get billed a $5 fee. This is all going to be on Google Sheets, and it's all going to go to the course contest. So we're going to have 4 CTPs on the par 3s. We're going to have the longest putt on number 14, and then a closest second shot on number 15. So those pay $30 each. So we have 36 golfers. So 5 times 36 is 180. That's going right all towards the course contest. You don't need to bring me $5. That's all going to be done on Google Sheets, and that balance will just transfer to next year. Format, as I said, first 6 holes are shamble. First 6 holes are scramble. Next 6 are shamble. Final 6 are better ball. And for those who have not played before, there's 6 points. Okay, so each of those formats are worth 1 point, and then the front 9, the back 9, and the total, that's where you get your 6 from. And everything's stroke play. So if on the first hole one team makes a 5, the other team makes a 7, you're up 2 shots. Okay, it's not like you go 1 up, 1 down, even in match play. Everything's stroke play. So you could be going into the last hole, you know, down 2 shots, and you can still, you know, make a comeback and possibly tie the match. So everything's stroke play. That's all you really need to know. We're not doing Scrolf this year either. With it being tee times, we're just going to go back to the old school. I'm going to have the board there. Going to have some of the earlier pairings keep score for me because I'm out at the end. And, you know, you can just send, I know JD started a group thread for his team. I started one. I mean, you can just text in your group thread, talk to each other out there. But I think with tee times, it'll work well that you can just kind of play your own game and see what happens at the end. So let's go through the matchup. So these are not set out exactly how, like, the order in which we did it. And I'm probably going to have a hard time remembering who set out what. This one I do remember. I put Mambo and Joe together, and JD responded with Billy D and Cuck. Slight favorite for team Billy D, ever so slightly. You can see I have the records here below. Over here, your big ones, your match records. I mean, if I notice anything absolutely crazy amongst the stats, I'll point it out. But these guys, we have Cuck, who has a pretty good Ryder Cup record. 68% is very high. Anybody that's over 60 is definitely in like the top 10. And then everybody else here is below 50, okay, losing records. And I tend to, the Team Red kind of talked me into this line a little bit just because, you know, Billy D in these formats is going to be pretty solid with his length. But my reasoning for Mambo and Joe together is I thought Mambo could be really helpful from the yellows, you know, being able to move it out there and Joe playing his ball. I think that'll be a good match to start. And remember, I do offer a tie line, all right? So that means if, you know, you bet Team Red and the match is tied, you don't get your money back, okay? You can bet the tie if you want. 300 means it pays 3-1. So if you bet $10, you'd win 30. All right, next match. I think this is another one that I set out. So like I said, we didn't go in order. We picked the pairing and put it into select tee time. So I'm pretty sure this one was me. I went Doc Marangel and Mark Gallagher versus Plachko and Naida. This is, I think, the biggest favorite of the day. I think Gallagher, best player here in this pairing. Plachko is making his Ryder Cup debut. Although you look at the records, nobody's got a great record in this group. Knight had halved last year, Gallagher 1-2-1, and Doc Marangel 1-5. Now, Doc Marangel, for betting purposes, he will be playing the yellows, just so everyone knows. Just like Mambo in the last pairing playing the yellows. So I do have this as a significant one for significant advantage for Team Blue. Kind of made it high enough that I don't want to really take as much money on this one. I've said before with this, I made mistakes in years past of like caring about feelings. It's like anymore, if I think it's a big advantage, I'm making it a big advantage. Like, people want to bet the underdogs, Team Red, like, go ahead and do it. But I think it's a good line. Okay, this one I also sent out. This was my Shenandoah team, McCuffey and Jack, versus the other Shenandoah team that JD put out of Belts and Bill Burke. Slight edge here to Team Red, ever so slightly. Think Belt's, best player in the group. But it wouldn't be surprised if this is a tight one. They have great Ryder Cup records. Belt, 67%. He's 4-2-2. Awesome record. Jack, 4-1, 63%. So he must have had some close matches in there, like close wins. Bill Cuff, 2-1-1, 63%. Same as Jack. And then Bill Burke, last year was his debut. He have. So really good records. The one here that still is unbelievable, Belts has played in 8 Ryder Cups, and he's never dropped a point in Scramble. So I'm talking he's never even had the Scramble match. He's won every single one. So holes 1 to 6 could be a really big start to this match to get off. I mean, 8-0, that's crazy good from Beltsy. Match number 4. Can't remember, to be honest with you, who put what pairing out and who responded, but I have Ebling and Gower as a -200 favorite. Gower, the best pairing in this group. The thing here that could depend though, look at this record. I think Eck has the highest, 7-1, 69%. He definitely has the highest of the people who've played in a lot of Ryder Cups. So hitting at 69% is crazy. Ebb not far behind him at 6-2, 66%, and I think a lot of those they were paired together. So this, you have Ebling playing the yellows, you have Eck playing the yellows. Barone and Gower are playing the whites. So really good record there for those two. I mean, Eck 6-2, 6 points in Scramble, 2 against. Back 9, 7 points won, 1 against. So he's got a really good record. And 6-1-1 in Ryder Cups. He's been like the key to winning Ryder Cups. Unfortunately, I just didn't get him. JD took him before I could get the chance. So overall, a little bit of an edge there to Ebling and Gower. Okay, we got Schnecke and Baney, favorites against Eli and Jake. I think JD sent out Eli and Jake. I responded with Schnecke and Baney. I actually really like his pairing of Eli and Jake. It was one that before the draft, I actually wanted to target both of those guys and put them together because I thought, Eli being super consistent, does everything really well, and Jake's, got the long bombing. If Eli can play from his drives, I'm like, that's going to be a really good partnership. But then, JD took them before I could get to him. So I responded with Schnecke and Baney. I think they're super solid. Hidden Valley guys, played a lot. That's why I did make them the favorite. Jake, 1-0 in a Ryder Cup. Baney with a solid 4-3 record. Schnecke at 2-3, 40%. Eli is making his Ryder Cup debut. Looks like there's nothing really of interest in here. Just a lot of pretty much right down the middle 50-50 stuff for both of these teams. So slight edge to Team Blue there. I think it's going to be a good match though. All right, Bailey and Carson. I put this one out, and JD responded with Decker and Doug. Slight favorite to Team Blue. Bailey's just been playing awesome golf. I mean, going back to the club championship, he played amazing in the Hidden Birch. I guess that would have been like 2 weekends ago. I think he shot like he shot own ball rounds of like 63 at White Birch and like 67 at Hidden Valley. So he's playing great golf. He's going to be the guy to beat in this pairing. But a bunch of records that are right around like 50%. So Bales 3-3-2, Doug 3-4-3, bunch of close matches. Decker 1-2, and then Carson is 0-2, 17%. He needs to get it going a little bit there. Maybe this will be. I think Carson said they played together. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. So this is a little redemption match for Bailey and Carson. Should be a good one. All right, Stu and Steele against Jonesy and Nick Marangel. So Stu playing in his first Ryder Cup in a couple years. Great record, 5-1-1, 67%. Jonesy also, we were talking about this. His record, his 2-1-3 record, but he's won 63% of the points is hilarious. He's played in some really tight matches, but then I think the 2 wins are absolute blowouts. So Jonesy, great record. As you look across, 5 points, 1 in the back, only 1 against him. And then Steele, dead 50-50. He's played in 5 Ryder Cups, 15-15. Nick Marangel, not a good record, 0-3-1, 19%. He's down in that Carson category. 0-4 in better ball. That's why I think I have to give Team Stu the advantage. Probably the best player. I mean, it's close. Josie's close with him. But Steele's been playing awesome this year. And I thought just with Nick's Ryder Cup record that I have to make Team Blue a little bit of a favorite. Okay, this should be a good one. Pez and Puzzy versus JD and JZ. Made this one dead even, -120, -120. I was leaning towards my team when I was setting the lines, but Team Red kind of more so thought, even, they should be favored. So I'm like, all right, if you guys think that, my whole goal with betting is to get even action. So if you guys think I'm going to take money, if I make them an underdog, I'll make it even money and see what happens. -120, -120. So Puzzy is the best player in this group with a 9-9, 50% record, 2-1. Jay-Z 7-11, 39%, and then Pez 12.5, 23.5, 35%. He's 1-3-2. And JD Barton, obviously, as the captain, is making his Ryder Cup debut. So, like I said, I favor my team a little bit. Obviously, I sent the pairing. I'm going to be biased in all of these because I'm the one that did them. Team Red's looking at it from a different point of view. I like my Puzzy and Pez pairing with the length and super solid short game. But this team's super solid too, and they're Hidden Valley guys. So, yeah, it should be a really good match. Last one. First time Laud and I are not playing together in a long time. Going to be battling it out here. He's mad at me for not taking the first pick and taking him. But I got Steve. Steve's decent. He'll do okay. There's nothing else we can do with this match at -120, -120. Both ways. Obviously should be very tight. Our records, I do have the best one at 7-3. I've won 63% of my points, and Laud and Steve are right around 50%. 5-4, 5-4-1, and 5-5, and then Hand is 1-3 at 42%. We ended up playing each other a lot. I will say this. 11th Ryder Cup, it's the first one that Steve and I are on the same team. Not even the same, playing together. In the same pairing, I guess I should say. Just the same Ryder Cup team. We have been opposite. That's why you can see our record. 3-6-1, 6-3-1. We've been on complete opposite teams every single time. So that'll be fun to play with Steve in one of these. And here is the final screen. I'll probably include this in the email for betting purposes. Minimum bet is 5, okay, to win 5. So let's say this first pairing would be, I forgot this needs to be, Belts was telling me about this. This needs to be an even number. I'm going to have to change this first one, -140. Because how it works with betting in increments of 5 is if it's -140, you can bet 7 to win 5. So I need to change that. Plus 100. Put that back on there so nobody's confused when they see it. But yeah, so $5 in, the maximum wager is going to be 50 to win 50. So if you wanted to bet like Doc Marangel's team, you could bet 150 to win 50. All right, and an underdog, I would let you bet 50. So for example, on Plachico Nida, you can bet 50 at plus 260. I can leave it here anyway. That's all I got. And then it's up to you guys for prop bets. You're always good at calling in some fun ones. All right, sorry, I was talking about the prop bets, but you guys are great at sending in prop bets. Good ones to do in the Ryder Cup are, a popular one would be like a 6-0 sweep. So instead of betting team, -300 is too much juice, you could bet Doc and Gallagher to sweep 6-0. You could bet how many matches are going to tie. Matchups like Mambo and Joe's pairing will earn more points than Schnecky and Bainey's pairing. I'll give you odds on matchups like that. Hole props I've done before. Will there be? We won't be doing will there be a hole in one. But you could do will there be an eagle on a par 4 is always one that I would set right around even money. You can just go in general. I think somebody did last year. Will a match just straight up yes or no? Will a match end 6-0? Will there be a sweep? So that's all stuff I can historically look up in the past. and do. So if you don't just want to bet the regular lines, you can send me or just ask me, what the odds are. Parlays too, like you can certainly do Mambo and Joe parlayed with Ebling and Gower, and I'll give you odds on that. And then I did forget to mention the final. I made minus 200 for Team Blue, 160, just because of the amount of matches I have favored. I do think Team Blue pairings are a little bit, but hey, you never know. Just remember that if the match ties, you lose. I'm giving you a line that you can bet a tie. So this is more like a soccer bet. Like at the end, you can bet Man City, Man United, or a draw. Okay, this is like that. Team Blue, Team Red, or a draw. So if it's a draw, both sides of those would lose. I'd pay the tie. Some people have bet tie lines before. I think Beltsy hit a super big tie line last year or the year before. Okay, so anything like that, you guys can start messaging me. The betting window will be open until probably Friday, just because of how early I'll have to get up and get over there to Hidden Valley on Saturday morning. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it, and looking forward to see some of the creative bets you guys come in with. So have a good night. Bye.